Hello and welcome to The Clear Voice, brought to you by Clear Career Professionals. I'm your host, James Groom. Today we have Clear's president, Michael Bays, in the studio with us. Michael, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, James. It's really great to be with you again and excited to talk about the City of Dumas and their position for finance director. We've got a really great recruitment going on there and excited to have people apply for the position.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Dumas up in the Panhandle of Texas, near Colorado, your old stomping grounds, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. You know, as you're driving from Texas and heading back to Colorado, where I know a lot of Texans go visit the Colorado mountains. You know, you'll typically pass through Dumas. It's a wonderful journey to go through and a great place to stop with the family and refuel or eat at a good restaurant. But, you know, even if you want to stay for a little while, they have some amazing scenery, you know, the canyons. I believe Lake Meredith is nearby and just a number of things to do for folks.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country up that way. Do you want to introduce our guests to the show?
Yeah. So we have Mark Hall, who's the city manager of Dumas, and we'll be working with the finance director naturally to improve finances for the community and just bring as much services and visibility as they possibly can. And then Debbie Reid is a retired finance director who has been helping the city of Dumas, and we are excited to have her on. She's going to provide a lot of insight and kind of what's happening with the finances for the city.
Well, welcome to the show, Mark and Debbie.
Glad to be here.
We'll get started with Mark. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you wound up in Dumas?
Was in the private sector, the oil business for most of my career, but have been in municipal government for 25 years. I came from Kansas. At one time, I did live in Amarillo, but Dumas has been, we'll just say, throughout my career, I've been through Dumas, traveling, and then, of course, living in Amarillo. Dumas it's a great community. It has a history, which any community has a lot of heritage in being down-to-earth people. They've went through thick and thin. Of course, oil and gas was discovered in about 1926 here. There is some refineries that are about 17 miles from here. It's one of those. We're out in kind of the center of the Texas Panhandle, roughly 40 miles to Amarillo, a short trip, but we've got everything that you can imagine as far as food. There is shopping, but there's also, if there's a need, Amarillo is not too far away. But the community likes this small town atmosphere. There's a lot of events. There's they call it Ding Dong Daddy, which is a song that goes way back, and it mentions Dumas. And it is one of those, they've adopted that and have a special day for that. In fact, this weekend, we're going to have Candy Cane Lane, which Santa turns on the lights throughout the town. It's a great event. There's car shows on weekends periodically. It centers around the courthouse, but we have all the amenities. There's soccer, there's baseball. The community prides itself. It is a public-private partnership. It's the Field of Dreams, and it's with a packing plant that is about 12 miles north of Dumas, and that's in Cactus. But pretty much we're the business area for the region. Travel through here, and as you mentioned, is Dumas Highway 287 goes straight through Dumas and continues on. You can get to Denver through that, or you can go through in Dumas and go west, and you'll end up hitting I-25 in New Mexico, and that'll take you to Denver. So we're pretty much close access to a large town, which is Amarillo, but it is one of those that, you know, Dallas to Lubbock to Denver is just a couple hours drive, we'll say 6 hours. And so it's kind of a unique and, like say, small town atmosphere. But mine is I came to Dumas about 8 months ago, and Dumas has a city commission that wants to move in a different direction. And that includes the position of finance director. It'll be a journey. You always want to start on a journey with everything you need, and a finance director is part of that. But we're going to go and do things that'll make Dumas just a greater city than it already is. So I hope that answered that question. My background, I'm enjoying it, and it's a fun challenge.
Well, it sounds like we're going to miss the event coming up, but I'm going to put it on my calendar for next year. We're going to try to get up there and check that out. It sounds very unique.
There's about, the whole town comes out, and surrounding area, there's about 6,000 people that show up. And we just had an event. I forgot the name of the country and western. There was close to 7,000 people that came to Dumas to watch the country singer, do a show. And it had barbecue and everything you expect. The whole town turns out. That's what I love about it, is any event, the whole town turns out.
I love small town Texas. I've, been here almost my entire life, and it's amazing that all these little pockets they all have that similar thing, or most of them do, where the town turns out, and they're all a little bit different in what they offer for those events. So it's amazing. Well, Debbie, kind of the same question for you. What's your journey been like, and how are you helping Dumas out right now?
Well, I have spent most of my career in local government finance, which I love because it's a unique niche. But yeah, I started my career out in public accounting, went into the private sector, but landed in local government finance. And it's been a good journey, and there's a great opportunity in local government finance. Dumas reached out to me actually the first time back in 23. They needed some help with the structure of their budget, the way they were doing their annual budget. So I helped them through that time. And then I went on to another project after being retired, doing consulting with cities. And then last January, they reached out to me again. They were trying to get caught up on their year end and their bank recs. So I came in, helped them get caught up. We got the fiscal year 9/30/24 done for them. That's when Mark started to reach out to me. The previous finance director left in August, so the position became vacant at that time. I continued to help Dumas through their annual budget for fiscal year 26 and met Mark at that time. Mark's been a pleasure to work with on this project. And Mark is already, as the new city manager, doing great things to head Dumas in a new direction, in a solid direction. And this position, I see, will just come alongside of Mark and be that support that he needs and that the commission needs to make sure that Dumas's finances stay strong into the future. So I think that it's been a good journey helping them. We are working on the 9/30/2025 audit right now. We're getting it ready. The auditors will come in. So by the time this person is on board, we should be pretty close to finishing up the audit. So this person will not have to come in and, catch up and finish out the audit. Because, there's the new state legislation that cities have to file their audits on time. We are on target to do that for the city of Dumas for the year ended 9/30/25.
Well, I think it should give some prospective candidates great relief to know that there's somebody holding everything together and getting those things done in the interim. Sometimes there's not, and it's every minute that you go by without somebody sitting there, it's one more thing piling up. So thank you for taking care of them while they're filling this role. Mark may have covered a lot of it, but anything that you can tell us that he may have missed about what makes Dumas a unique place to work in or to live in?
I think I covered the thing that if you're looking for, we have an extension of Amarillo College. That way, you don't have to go to Amarillo to get a continuing education. And that's really something that is handy for somebody or a family that's growing and not sure where they're actually going to end up, but you can get your degree through Amarillo College here in Dumas. It does have, like say, access. It's 40 miles away to an international airport in Amarillo. If you like being close enough to a large city but want that hometown atmosphere, kids can play safely, this is kind of where you want to be. Anything you can name, it's 45 minutes away, but people like to, and we have now, the majority of citizens that live in Dumas actually travel outside of Dumas to work, but they choose to live in Dumas. And that says a lot about the community. We have great education, 2 elementary schools, brand new, were built just a little over a year ago. They are tornado proof. It is state of the art. And then, of course, legendary high school, which is always competitive in football and in sports. The town, everybody sports the local high school football and women's sports. That's all through the high school, and everybody stands by that. It is one of those, if you like a small town atmosphere, but being able to get the things in a big city, this is where you want to be. Our future is we're going to go on a journey. On this journey, I'm dependent a lot on the finance director. Of course, Debbie is here. Debbie will always help us out. She'll always be there to answer questions and, work with the finance director. But this will be a journey, and we're just changing the direction, how we do things. Staff is 100% behind it. They want to go to the next level, and that's what we're excited about. And the finance director position is going to be key. A lot of things that we've got to do, and I will lean heavily on the advice of the finance director. I apply business to the administration of the city, and there is some things that we'll just say, we're going to go out and we're going to try different things in the way of financing. These will be involving the federal government. It is one of those, of course, the state. There's a lot of things that are going to be through Washington for the future of Dumas and a lot of programs. The finance director is key to understanding those. So I think if somebody's looking for a challenge and looking for something unique, you want to be in Dumas. It's a place where we're going to go on a journey.
Some people don't understand how important that role finance is because they're always in the background, but you can have all the ideas in the world that you want and everybody can know what they need to do. But if finance can't figure out how to fund it, then we're not going anywhere. Debbie, do you have anything to add about the community?
Yes, I raised my hand there. Yes, I wanted to say we live in Canyon and I drive through Amarillo to Dumas. And Mark mentioned the landscape is amazing. It's beautiful. It's very different than other parts of Texas, but the canyon, it's very rolling hills. It's just absolutely beautiful. But what I enjoy about Dumas, it's almost 15,000 in population, but it's more than that because of the surrounding areas, like Mark said, that depend on the city of Dumas for resources. But the community is small town. What I have seen in Dumas is growth and an investment. TxDOT just did a large project through the main corridor of Dumas and really improved the image to me from an outsider driving in and coming in to help Dumas. I've just seen a lot of improvements in the infrastructure from TxDOT's perspective and even in the community kind of stepping up and making things, the appearance of Dumas even better. But it is small town flavor with the city of Amarillo close by.
Michael, what do you know about Dumas?
Yeah, well, I wanted to really mention a couple of things that are going to be interesting. This position isn't just for people who live in Texas. We love our people who've already moved down here, but, we are open to people who are looking to come to the state of Texas from other places. And there's some really cool things about Dumas, the cost of living, and maybe Mark and Debbie can speak a little bit about this, but it seems like the cost of living is below the U.S. average on cost of living for different places. The fact that Texas doesn't have a state income tax down here with the salary that we have to enjoy just a higher quality of life. When I'm looking at this position and to those people who may be looking at Dumas that, aren't familiar with it or not used to driving on 287 through that area, it has a really great outdoor living that you can do. If you like hiking, if you like hunting, like fishing, there's a number of those things. When you talk about the quality of life, it's going to be a community that's very supportive of what you want to do for your future. With Mark and his leadership at the city, it's going to be stable and the ability to really have an impact. So many people that serve in government, it's not just about what our salary is or what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. It's really feeling like we're giving to something bigger than ourselves. And knowing Mark and his leadership style, I feel like that's really important for Mark to kind of talk about what that culture looks like as well.
Some of the things that we have changed in, and we've started with directors, and the finance director will be included in that, is each department is independent but works as a whole. And the thing is the finance director is part of the task force that we address problems for the city. That is not only from the financial end, but it's also the finance director will their opinion and their input is very important because we all try to look at things in a lateral way, just a different view. We just kind of look at it and find a solution. But the culture is that we have around here is we do everything for the citizens, and that includes the youth of Dumas. And that's what gets us up each day. I know sometimes it's hard to, but we like to have the attitude everything we do is for the children of Dumas. And we know they will grow into adults, and what they will benefit now, they'll appreciate going forward. So it is a culture. Yes, people, and I know that's part of Texas, is you speak your mind. And it is one of those that we are open to everyone participating to find a solution. And each department is allowed to run their show and make it the best. So that's kind of the culture around here. And there's things that we want to do for quality of life. There's programs, there's grants. Of course, the finance director will probably sit there and say, where is this coming from? But it is one of those we are going to, at times, and the finance director, we will be dealing with Austin and we will be dealing with Washington, D.C. And there are programs that will be brought here, and there might be at hopefully sometime a need to deal directly in Washington, D.C. It is in past experience. I've probably, out of the 25 years, spent close to 17 years visiting Washington, D.C. So there's a lot of things, a lot of new adventures, and like I say, a lot of new programs, and like I say, the level that the finance director will not be limited to the state. It will go to also the federal government. So it's going to be a little different thing here and there, and a lot of new programs and a lot of exciting things.
Mark, I love the philosophy of thinking about the kids because it forces cities to consider the things that we're doing today and how that impacts somebody 10, 20 years down the road. So we really appreciate that philosophy.
You bet.
When you guys think about the candidate that might be successful there, what kind of qualities do you see in that person?
Well, Debbie will go on more of understanding exactly. Mine is somebody that is, like say, is open-minded, understands the director's position. But it is one of those that I have a responsibility to every employee in the city to give my knowledge to them. It is one of those, that's my responsibility. And with that, it goes to the finance director is we will discuss a lot of things from a business perspective. And that might be different, but it is also, and I mentioned earlier, is we will play in more areas than just Dumas. That is like say a federal government look, and I want them to understand that. In dealing with USDA, HUD, we will probably be dealing with the Department of Justice, Homeland Security on the federal level, but it is one of those, of course, on the state level. If you're from Texas, you pretty much know a lot of things get done in Austin, and if there's a need, that is something that there might be travel to. We will go and we will hunt down the future of Dumas any place that it's at. So I'm excited about that, and that's what I'm looking at a director. Debbie will get more of the professional and the technical side of it, but mine is somebody that wants to go on an adventure and could represent Dumas not only nationally, but at the state level.
Debbie, what qualities from your perspective make a successful finance director?
Well, I will say that the person will need to have strong accounting and finance skills and strong leadership skills. I'll just say that at the start. Obviously, local government finance training would be key. Mark has committed, and he alluded to this, that he will allow me to, if the person has not spent a lot of time in local government, because local government fund accounting is very different than the private sector. But if this person is coming from a public accounting background or a private sector background and doesn't have that local government spin and skill, Mark has agreed that I can come alongside that person and help train them. And I've done this for a couple of other cities where they hired a finance director. Local government finance skills are hard to find these days. So please, if you are a strong accountant or a strong financial person, you're a trained accountant, like your degree is in accounting, you know the skills, because Dumas has to have somebody on board that has those strong accounting skills. The government side can be learned. And Mark, like I said, Mark has agreed to allow me to help coach that person in those areas. I will say that the city commission, the times that I have gone before the city commission, they need a strong leadership person in the finance role. Mark, he just alluded to this, and the city commission are going to look to this person to give them financial strength going into the future. So long range plans, strong budgeting skills, the day-to-day operations of accounting and finance. They'll need to know payroll. If they have experience in accounting and finance, they'll know those things. You need to know all the weekly, quarterly, annual filings that have to take place. So that's what Dumas needs. And a strong leader for the team. The fiscal year 26 budget includes a new position to be added to the finance team. And Mark and I and another person at the city that's helping them out right now, we've talked about this structure. And we've got ideas to organize this, but we're going to wait to hire that new position. We may post it, but maybe wait to make that hiring decision so that this new finance director can help choose that person. This will be a key role as well for the team. There will be the finance director, this new position. There's 2 accounting clerks. One focuses on the accounts payable side, one focuses on the accounts receivable side. Finance also interacts closely with utility billing. All the transactions flow into the accounting system. So the finance director will work closely with utility billing and all of the department directors, because we have to track, of course, all the capital assets and all the spending activity of the city. So those strong accounting skills and strong leadership skills. The other thing that I would add about the team and the culture, what I have observed from the Dumas staff is commitment. They are committed to Dumas. There are many staff members, including many of those directors, have been there for years, and they are committed to making Dumas strong. And they too, those directors too, will lean on this finance director from a financial perspective to make sure that the operations go smoothly and that the city moves forward.
Yeah, it's a big task, but I think there's quite a few good people out there, and it's just a matter of getting the word out to them, because we're recruiting from the private sector and out of state. That opens us up to a whole lot of folks.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I have told Mark this is a great opportunity for a finance and accounting professional to make a difference. This city is poised for someone to come in and make a difference in their financial future for the city. And I'm retired and helping cities, but this is a great opportunity for somebody to make a difference. And this would be a great accomplishment in their finance career.
I agree.
Mark, when you think about what type of leader you are, how would you describe that to someone, and how does that style shape the way that you guide the organization?
I think it is that over time we can get autocratic, democratic in this but to truly sum it up is I have a responsibility, and as I said before, as the city manager, is to give my knowledge to the city, to every city employee. It's one of those, it's not a guarded thing that I know I like to discuss. I like them to make decisions on their own. And I use the old management theory of 95%. And as we get there, 95% of the decisions will be made by the department head. The 5% that are unsure, let's talk about. But as we go on and we learn that, those are things that the department head knows how to make that decision. And I truly feel that I'm more of a supportive role. I never claim that I am the expert of everything. I've learned things over the years, but each department is the professional and the expert of what they do. And they're treated like that. And that way the city never falters. In other words, they're not dependent on what the city manager is going to say. They know how to make decisions, and they are getting to that 95%. My leadership is, instead of sitting there going my way or the highway, it's more of a supportive. And what I've told staff is, I want you to have the ability to create. In other words, take this department, your span of control, and take it to a level that it's never been before. And we'll discuss if you need help. It is one of those that we just want to be the best at everything that we want to do, and that is with the finance director. We have this task force, which is finance director. Truly, all directors are a part of the task force. We meet before every city commission meeting, and we discuss things about Dumas, something that we're maybe missing, something that we're not seeing, and something maybe an internal. And all department heads participate in that. And then, of course, at the end, and you can imagine this is roughly about every 2 weeks, they discuss what's going on in their department. And so the finance director will be aware of what Parks and Recreation is doing at that time. My type of leadership is pretty open.
Thank you for saying that. It sounds like you're trying to solve one of those problems that we always see, which is communication. I definitely appreciate you working on that, because that's what I find the root of most of the problems at work that I find is communication. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about the salary and benefits for this position?
Yeah, the city has a salary range of $90,000 to $110,000, which is commensurate with that position, especially within that region. As I'm listening to Mark and Debbie talk about the city, it's such an honor to be working with this team and recruiting for this particular position. Having served communities, most of our team here at Clear Curb Professionals really wants to impact communities with positive leadership. And it's an honor to work in a recruitment where you're going to have a finance director come in and be able to have that impact.
Yeah, and of course, they're going to be on TMRS, which if you're in the private sector, maybe coming from a different state, it's going to earn you eventually a lifetime pension, and it's got some great benefits. If there's somebody from a state that maybe doesn't have the stability in their state pension system, TMRS is pretty rock solid, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a great system to be retired from. As I've retired from TMRS myself, and so I think it's a good thing to be able to have that stability and just the investment that the state has made in our retirement system. The other thing that our out of state candidates or people who are a ways away from Dumas, may want to know, James, is that relocation assistance is available to assist them in getting to Dumas and becoming a part of the community there. And so we are excited to be taking these candidates in and allowing the city to find the best fit for them.
Sounds like the city is doing all the things that you need to do to bring in a high-quality candidate. Debbie, did you have anything to add?
Yes. I was going to say about the TMRS, if they're coming in from another state, years of service in another governmental entity, county, city, whatever state, can count as years of service in the TMRS. There's just a form that's filled out. I came from Michigan to Texas many years ago and was able to bring my years of experience from a city in Michigan to the city I was working for in Texas. So that made me vested right away in the TMRS plan. The TMRS retirement plan is amazing. So that is a huge benefit for each employee of the city.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to be participating.
Of course, we have health care. We have vision and dental. We have AFLAC. We have, life insurance companies come in. So all those things that you're accustomed to are available here. And it is one of those that I just can't say enough about the retirement system. It's second to none. And I'm just saying that from an out-of-stater, that is very impressive for somebody going down the road. And when they reach that retirement age, that thing grows a lot faster than other states. We've got everything from A to Z. We, want to help, but the benefits are very attractive and very competitive. So we've got that kind of covered on that end, but the retirement is something special. And as you mentioned, if you're from Texas, you do not pay state income tax. Coming from a state that you did pay state income tax, that was a breath of fresh air. That was something nice. If you're coming and you have an income, an outside income, and your income, from the city, you're not paying state tax on it.
Yeah, it sounds like a great benefit package. Michael, can you tell us if candidates have questions or if they're ready to apply, how do they do so?
Yeah, as always, James, they can reach out to me at clearcareerpro.com with my email address. And the best way to apply for this position is applydumas@clearcareerpro.com. But as always, you have a strong LinkedIn presence. You can click through LinkedIn and submit your cover letter and resume. Encourage candidates to reach out to me with any questions, and happy to answer them and hopefully get a really great pool of folks for the city to consider for this position.
Before we sign off, Mark, any final words, anything that we missed, anything you'd like to tell prospective candidates?
I'll just step in and say, submit your resume and application, and we want you here. We want you to go on this journey with Dumas. So please fill it out, send it in, and I think you'll enjoy what you're going to be doing here in Dumas.
Debbie, can you tell the prospective candidates anything that we've missed?
No, it's a great opportunity, and Dumas is looking for a strong accounting professional that will help the city move forward from their financial perspective. So it's a great opportunity. Please apply. We'll look at anybody that applies.
Awesome. I'm excited for you guys. Michael, is there anything that we missed? Anything you'd like to add to the position?
No, it's been great visiting with Mark and Debbie, and thank you for your trust in working with Clear Career. We really appreciate all that you guys do, and just continued success to you guys. Clear is having some really amazing recruitments coming open towards the end of the year, not just this financial director position, but we also have some city administrator and city manager positions coming open. And so, please continue to follow our website or follow us on LinkedIn.
You bet.
Well, thank you, Debbie and Mark and Michael, for being on today. Thank you to the listeners for joining us. Please check out our website for more information about this position and to apply. Also, follow us on LinkedIn for this and other opportunities, and we will catch you next time.